So in this video, we are going to learn about security groups. What security groups is, so basically in nutshell, if you want to know security group, it's just like a watchman who is taking care of your home. How many peoples are allowed to go inside and how many outside peoples are allowed to come inside, right? So basically, if you want to cover security groups, so it's act as a firewall for EC2 instance and it controls the incoming and outgoing traffic, right? And yeah, let's see the key features. So the first feature of security groups is stateful traffic filtering. So basically, it acts as a filter which allows us to filter the inbound and outbound traffic. Inbound meaning something which is coming from outside to inside, and outbound meaning something which is coming from inside to outside, right? So if you allow an inbound request from a specific IIP and port, the response is automatically allowed regardless of the outbound rule. So basically, you just need to specify from where and which place the traffic should be allowed. So basically, it's the gate, which is your port, and the IP from which you will be entering, right? So, for example, here your port can be SSH, HTTP, or HTTPS, and whether you want to allow the traffic from specific IPs or from anywhere, that is 0.0.0.0/0, right? Next is instance level security. Since you are adding one filter over the EC2 instance and the security groups is actually helping us to protect our environment. Why? Because there are only few specified people will be accessing the instance, because we are exposing some sort of ports which are only allowed to access, which is only required for the working of the application, and few sort of ranges of IP addresses which is allowed to hit the application, right? Now, let's move forward with inbound and outbound rules. As I mentioned previously, inbound rule is something that is hitting the server, and outbound is which is going outside, which is coming from instance level to the outside world. Okay, so you can define these rules and specify the inbound and outbound traffic, and these rules are based on protocols. For example, TCP, UDP, and ICMP, ports and IP ranges, right? Now, the fourth is default DNI. So, you are specifying your inbound rules. However, if you don't even specify your outbound rule, it is considered as allowed to all by default. Okay, so yeah, that was all about instance level security, inbound outbound rules, default deny, and statefulness filtering. Now let's see a few example of security group configuration. So what sort of configuration you can do, right? So let's consider the example. You might be aware that in the previous videos we have been launching EC2 instance. There we are exposing two ports, that is SSH and HTTP, right? SSH, why? Because we want to take a secure shell host. We want to take root user access from our terminal. And why HTTP? Because we were launching an Apache server and we wanted to host one basic HTML page, right? So here we will be exposing the SSH, HTTP, and HTTPS port based on our request. And we didn't mention about the outbound rule that will be defined as per our requirement. Secondly, if you are on a VPC network, that is a virtual private cloud network. So at that time, what specific ports you are supposed to expose, that is 3306, which is default port for MySQL databases, and outbound rule as per our requirement. Right now, what are the best practices when it comes to security groups? So the first is principle for least privilege. As I mentioned in the previous video, the when we were learning IAM, the less the permission given, the more the security received, right? So only we need to allow the minimum required access to reduce the potential attacks on our instances. Second is descriptive name. So it would be harder for you to remember 2K1 XG tag which is written there. However, it would be easier for you to elaborate version 1 for EC2 IAM read write access. So if you're writing a descriptive name, it would be easier for you to identify the things. When it comes to security groups, your descriptive name can be SSH port allow access for outbound traffic. So that sort of descriptive name you can use, so that even if the person who is looking the security group for the first time, let it be inbound and outbound, he can easily get what actually it is doing, right? And basically it's just for understanding purpose, right? Just like you add comments in your code, you need to add descriptive name when it comes to security groups. Next is regular audit. So you need to perform periodic audit when it comes to security group to ensure you are meeting the security standard based on the date. So lastly, we have prepared a diagram where it is explaining that this is your EC2 instance. Then you have added a security group, which is defining which traffic to be inbound, which is coming to your instance, that is the HTTP traffic, and which outbound traffic that is coming from instance level to the internet, which will be flowing from instance to the www internet, right? Now, the last thing, if your application is not accessible, you will be getting timeout error. So this is the actual gist of security group. If you are not even enabling any sort of port, so we'll try this exercise in the coming video where we will be uh, just turning on the HTTP port, right? And we are going to host one Apache server. We are going to see the host name. Now, what will happen if you turn off that flag? Right? At that time, you will get timeout. So that's the basic purpose of security groups. It allows the traffic incoming and outgoing traffic, which will be handled based on our ease, right? So it acts as a gatekeeper, which will allow the people to come into your home and people to go out from your home, right? Now let's understand some of the classic ports which will be easier for us to understand while we will be launching the Apache web server, and we will be taking practicals during the coming videos. So the first is port number 22, which is used for secure shell, used for logging into the Linux instance, which we will see in one of the videos. Port number 21, which is for FTP, file transfer protocol, which is used to upload the file. Third is port number 22, which is SFTP, Secure File Transfer Protocol. Port number 80, which we have already seen during Apache server demonstration, which is used for accessing unsecured website. Then there is another one that is 443 HTTPS, which is used to access the secured websites. And the last one is 3389, which is for RTP, Remote Desktop Protocol, which is used for logging into a Windows instance, right? So that was all about this video. In this video, we learned about security groups. What are the key features that it offers? What are the best practices that we need to follow? And at the end, we saw a few of the classic ports that we should be aware of. I hope you learned from this video and see you in the next one. Thank you.